A Napa guy knows the only way you'd give a freshly minted driver a brand new car is if he promises to never drive it. Instead, let him grind the gears and knock over the neighbor's mailbox in something a little more suited to his skill level. And with over 400,000 parts and a little Napa know-how, he can safely drive something that's nearly as old as he is. It's not perfect, but it's perfect for him. That's Napa know-how.
Blog Talk Radio.
Well, good evening, folks. And thank you for tuning in with me once again to another edition of True Conservative Radio. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. It has been some time since I conducted a broadcast, I guess a whopping 24 hours. But the only reason I decided to do another broadcast, folks, is because I think that we are witnessing the beginning of the American loser revolution that I've been discussing for some time now. And before we get into that, I want to remind everybody that it is episode number 166 for everybody who's keeping track of the True Conservative Radio program. We are experimenting with the variety of different time slots on when to actually broadcast the True Conservative Radio program live, because we've had a dramatic demand for an attempt at trying to teeter around with the broadcast live time, because people want to listen in live. They want to sit here and they want to talk to us. They want to chat live with us, and I don't blame them. I don't know why, because it's a damn jungle. It's a damn zoo sometimes in this damn chat room. It's literal chat graffiti on here. But to be frank with you, folks, I don't blame you if you want to be here live with us. The best way to figure out when I'm going to conduct these live broadcasts is to follow me on Twitter. And the Twitter name to follow, folks, is Ghost Politics. All one word, no underscores, Ghost Politics. Anyway, folks, before we move any further, I'd like for everybody to please, if you have any comments, suggestions, or just want to tell me something, my official email is ghostpolitics@yahoo.com. But let's get back to the beginnings of the American loser revolution that we are witnessing before our very eyes, folks. The past couple of shows we've been talking about these losers just deciding to flip out and trying to inspire communist revolutions, trying to inspire warped ideas. You got a lot of crack pipes out here just cracking under the pressure that seems to be, I don't know, there's a variety of different reasons why this is happening, but we have another one of these violent acts that has been implemented on American soil by a typical American loser. And this time it was an attack at the Pentagon. Some moron named John Patrick Bedell opened fire at the damn Pentagon entrance for some reason. He was just some crackpipe moron, according to his parents. His parents are now trying to blame other people because, their son went cuckoo and decided to start shooting people in front of the Pentagon for some reason. But if you look further into the background of this individual who did this shooting at the Pentagon, not only did this individual have, I guess, questionable mental faculties when it comes to his interpretation and perception of the world, but apparently he does have a connection with the Pentagon in some benign fashion, I believe. This is a moron that was obviously, according to the reports, he was bipolar, which is the biggest joke of all time. I'm sick and tired of all these mental disorders. Let me tell you something. I take a dirty, yellow, bubbly piss on the concept, on the notion of mental disorders. But apparently he had bipolar disorder, and who the hell knows what was going on. His parents were saying that they had warned authorities in some Timbuktu town that they're from. Anyway, his connection with the Pentagon had something to do with his curiosity of, smart weapons or, trying to produce, some capability to make an individual warfighter and use a nanotechnology. I don't know. It's not really clear what exactly this crack pipe had in mind, but apparently he proposed in 2004, according to Associated Press reports, he approached this idea in some sort of documented form to the Pentagon, and the Pentagon, I don't know how they reacted to this, but I know Bedell wanted it to be funded. He wanted the Pentagon to fund his little, warfighter, soldier, nanotechnology experiment, mad scientist nonsense. I have no idea, all right? I have absolutely no idea, but, apparently, he didn't get funded. And, of course, because he didn't get funded and because I'm sure his mommy and daddy kept pussy pampering him his whole damn life, and, I'm not speculating. I'm not assuming. Let's put it that way. I don't know anything about these people. I'm just reading reports. All this is my opinion, of course. But in my opinion, I think that this idiot was probably pussy pampered his whole entire life, and mommy and daddy, instead of giving him a good, ass whooping or a trip to the woodshed, they decided to throw pills at this stupid crack pipe. And you can take a look at the mugshot of this, freak show of nature. I mean, this guy literally looks like a lunatic. I don't understand why anybody didn't see this idiot at least coming to some extent. I mean, look at the, completely dilated eyes. I mean, just scruffed up, Skeletor, borderline Skeletor type look. And obviously he's dyed his hair somewhat bitchy blonde or some kind of crap like that. But folks, once again, this underscores what's happening in America. What has happened within the past several weeks? We had some stupid bimbo at University of Alabama decides to go and shoot up the faculty out there because she couldn't get tenure, right? Because she couldn't get tenure, and for you folks that aren't unfamiliar with what tenure is, that means that these people can sign a legal contract guaranteeing them large quantities of years of work. I mean, they can be tenured for 5-10 years or lifetime tenure, meaning you can't fire these people unless you literally catch them in the closet, with a 12-year-old Asian kid that was smuggled in through a damn port somewhere shipping in Beanie Babies. So the bottom line is, folks, is that this lunatic in Alabama decided to shoot up the faculty. Now, why did she shoot up the faculty? Because she didn't get tenure. Now, why would that motivate somebody to shoot up the joint? Well, because, folks, these people can't face life. They have been programmed by liberal and feminist Hollywood to be nothing more than consumeristic, materialistic gluttons. They have neglected their families. They have neglected their emotional stability. They have neglected to make their mind conscious. I mean, these people aren't walking around with consciousness. I mean, these people are just following the dotted line through life, if you can understand what I'm saying. These people have no idea what's going on until that repetition of idea that was implanted through these entertainment mediums and social arenas and social environments, when it all comes crashing down, and it has been crashing down since 2008, ever since the subprime mortgage crisis and all that crap before the TARP, when we didn't even know if our savings accounts in 2008 were even going to still be there because of all these losers taking out home loans they couldn't pay for. But here you have this loser in Alabama, at the University of Alabama, shooting up the faculty because she couldn't get tenure. So she realizes that she is not going to have her, prissy little life. She's not going to have that kosher, guaranteed, bureaucratic, leftist-style collective tenure that, she could get used to, so she can, continue on with the minimal standard possible without having to be overlooked by, any kind of standard other than the minimal standard set forth by the state. We all know that the state, sets the standard pretty low. So lo and behold, her world came crashing down on her, folks, when this nutcase at the University of Alabama, when she didn't get tenure, her whole materialistic world just crumbled down upon her. And what do losers do? You know, they just crack. You know, they don't realize that, hey, okay, this is just a setback. You know, I did something wrong. Look back, recollect on what chain of events led to the unfortunate incident, and start from scratch. I mean, this is America. If you're a loser today, you don't have to be a loser tomorrow. All right? The only reason you're a loser tomorrow is because you want, you know, everybody to give you a nice little pussy pampering and say, "Oh, are you okay? Come here, let me give you a kiss." The hell away from me. Anyway, once this broad didn't get tenure, she just shot everybody up. All right? This is this loser revolution, all right? This is this American loser revolution. And then we had Joe Stack and his infamous, you know, if I can't have my house and my airplane, no one is. So this moron decides to burn down his house and decided to, you know, get in his plane. And I don't know how many people you know have planes in their, you know, back hangars and their back porches or wherever this idiot had his plane. But since he couldn't pay for it and he blamed the IRS because, I don't know, whatever precarious activities he was doing in his financial aspect of his life, he blamed the IRS because he could no longer, I don't know, keep his precious plane and his precious little house. And lo and behold, what happened? This idiot decided to go out and wreck his plane in the IRS building, blow it up, and you know what the audacity of this asshole? I mean, not only is this another form of loser revolution or loser rebellion, but this asshole actually left a suicide note or some sort of a manifesto is what the liberal media is calling it. Liberal media is calling it a manifesto, for heaven's sake. He left a manifesto trying to encourage a communist revolution because of his martyrdom action. You know? I mean, that's what he was expecting by, you know, burning down his house and taking the plane and, you know, ramming it into some IRS building over here in Austin, Texas. And it wasn't too far from where I'm located at right now. And I think it's rather disgusting that we've got people in America, because they cannot understand that this is life, and you have to be accountable for your own fiscal responsibility, all right? You know, for your own, you know, financial responsibilities, you have to take care of those things. You can't neglect those things, all right? Just because you get a little plastic card and, you know, the cashier at wherever you're purchasing your material good accepts it as cash doesn't mean that you're not accounted for that. You know, when you get yourself a secured loan for a house and a truck or a car or whatever the hell you've got, you are responsible for that. You know, that's what makes you an adult, you assholes. But you see, these losers, they don't understand that. Nobody wants to take responsibility for it. You see, this is what political correctness has done to our country. Political correctness has done nothing but pussified our country to the point where when things don't go our way, we're just going to go ahead and off ourselves, and before we off ourselves, we're going to try to hurt as many people as we possibly can. That's what this damn whole political correctness, pussy pampering garbage has done to America. That's what it's done to America. And now we've got this present day violence. This has all happened. All these episodes of violence that I'm describing has happened within the past few weeks, folks. And what have I been saying the whole time? What have I been saying? That we are going to see a lot more episodes of this. I've been saying this for a long period of time, and you can look back in the on-demand episodes or the archive of the True Conservative radio program. I have been saying this from day one, because these people are not going to be able to live with the fact that they're not going to have their materials anymore. Don't you understand that? Don't you understand that these people don't have families because they don't care about their families? They don't have any emotions, because if they did have emotions, they would start realizing that, you know, instead of, you know, working 80 hours a day so you can live, you know, a borrowed, lavish life for about 4 hours a day, Doesn't make sense. I mean, 80 hours a week, excuse me. It just doesn't make any sense, folks. I understand we all want the finer things in life, folks. We all want the finer things in life. That's what makes America America. But what these people didn't understand is that, you know, you have to be accountable. You can't have it all now, you ungrateful pricks. And because, you know, the financial institutions were generous enough to give these morons lines of credit and, you know, were generous enough to allow these people to, you know, get into certain arenas that they wouldn't have otherwise gotten into. And because we live in a free enterprise society where, you know, responsibility falls on all parties involved with both government and economics and, you know, social interaction, you know, one would have thought that, you know, yeah, we would have had some people that still wouldn't have paid their houses, still wouldn't have paid their cars, but there would have at least been just enough people that did, that would have at least counterbalanced it all, and we could have still prolonged our great American society that we all grew up in, folks. If you're within the sound of my voice and you can understand my little commentary here, you have grown up in a decent time in American history. But from here on in, it is not going to be as you know, peachy keen as you have once deemed it to be, or maybe you ungrateful pricks didn't. But it's just going to get harder and harder. That's why in the last program, in number 165, I was attempting to facilitate a couple of financial ideas for folks to possibly venture into. I'm not saying to get into them. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying there are financial instruments for individuals to get into so that they can somehow maintain some sort of fiscal legitimacy amidst this not only recession. I believe it's going to be an economic depression in America. I believe the way it's going, the way our current regime has it, this liberal regime is bankrupting us. This liberal regime is nullifying the whole idea of economics, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it seems to me like they're doing it on purpose. And I really don't appreciate the fact that everybody in America is not, nobody's giving a rat's ass about it. And the people that are, or the people that think they're giving a rat's ass, they don't understand the complex nature of the highway robbery that's going on in Washington and Wall Street today. They don't understand. They can't comprehend it. So what do? They band, stupid little groups like, oh, I'm a teabagger, boy. I'm a teabagger. You know, they put the stupid tea bags on their damn hats, and they go out with the misspelled picket signs and the Dale Earnhardt, bandanas and the sweat-stained, yellow shit-stained T-shirt, wife beaters, and the damn, frayed-out, torn shorts and flip-flops, and go out there and say, yeah, we're against Obama, boy. We're tea baggers. Instead of actually understanding what they're fighting against. Do you understand? This is a very complicated system. I know a lot of you people, you were too busy, shoveling food down your goddamn gullet like a garbage disposal. You were out there watching Maury Povich all day, listening to, ridiculous rap music and, watching these pre-teenage bimbos being exploited by Hollywood, whatever the hell you were doing. But now it's time for you to start waking up, standing up, and start learning something. It is your time to start saying, hey, wait a minute, I'm an American citizen, and I don't care what my politics, as I interpret it, are. What are important are many things, but three things in particular: life, liberty, and property. All right, I quote John Locke because that's the basis of our society. The basis of our society came from great philosophers, John Locke being one of them, Rousseau being another, Montesquieu being another. Do you understand, folks, that there has never been a document that has accorded all men on a certain geopolitical area certain unalienable rights that could never be taken away unless the document itself is nullified, and that's the American Constitution. It's the American Constitution. That's all there is to it. It makes me sick to my stomach that the American people, instead of understanding that it's their time to start asserting themselves as a country that was made for the people and by the people, instead of sitting back and waxing your carrot and watching the latest fruity ass to win the American Idol contest, you need to go out there and realize that it is your time as the American people to assert yourselves. And you know what I'm asking you to do? You know what you need to do? You know what your obligation is to do? Is just go to the ballot box and vote appropriately, you dumb, ungrateful pieces of crap. It makes me sick that this whole thing could have been avoided had we paid attention to not only the political aspects of our life, all right? Not only the political aspects of our life, but the economic and social aspects of our life. I mean, look we're all wrong here. I mean, I there's no turning back. I think America has done for. I hate to say it, folks. I hate to put a fork in it, but God damn it, look around you. Look around you. I'm as patriotic as anybody out here, folks. I have lived the conservative lifestyle all my life. It pains me to see society in such a depraved fashion. It hurts to wake up every morning, folks. It hurts to wake up every morning. You're seeing teenagers making pregnancy pacts in America. You've got conservatives justifying teen pregnancy because of that Eskimo bimbo Sarah Palin that's using the label of conservative to spread her liberal feminist crap. We've got rap music as the majority of the music being played today. Rap music. One of the biggest contributing factors to the moral decay of our society. And then you got liberal and feminist Hollywood producing all these ridiculous movies. Liberal and feminist Hollywood contribute a lot, and they're going to continue to contribute. They're going to contribute a lot to the loser revolution, the American loser revolution that is beginning, and it's beginning now, damn it! It's beginning now! Look at all these losers! They're rebelling, they're shooting up crap, they're bombing crap, and they don't care if they live or die, because they're soulless! Don't you understand that? They're soulless! They're atheist, evolutionist pieces of garbage that believe that they came from a chip! They believe that they came from a freaking monkey, so they don't care if they live or die. They just want materialism. They just want their fancy car. They just want their fancy house. They just want their fancy China-made materialistic gadgets. And if they can't have it, folks, they don't want anybody else to have it. If they can't have it, they want to screw it up for everybody else. If they can't have it, they're going to cause chaos. They're going to cause chaos. They're going to cause chaos for us all. So I'm telling you right now, folks, I believe that we are witnessing the last days of American freedom because it's the American people that have now become the American enemy. It's the American loser that has now become the American enemy. I can't believe this crap. Why isn't anybody talking about this in the American media? Why isn't anybody talking about the American loser revolution that is impending upon us, that is beginning upon us right this second? I guarantee you that there are other losers that are getting inspired by these ridiculous acts of violence, by these soulless, mindless acts of violence. They're getting inspired, damn it, and it makes me sick because you losers are jeopardizing this great society for me and other great American people, for other true conservatives, for other great American taxpayers, because you want to be losers. Do you understand this? This country was made on individualism, you moron. And what is individualism? That means that you're going to make certain decisions for yourself that are going to pave the way for what direction you go in life. And if you're in a damn bad direction, all right, if you're in one of these directions and, oh my God, I lost my house, I lost my car, shut your mouth! You got to get up and do what you got to do, damn it. Don't sit over there and worship this socialist big brother liberal crap that they're infringing upon us now. I'm an individual. But God damn it, I know, and if you are of rational mind, you know too that these losers, these American losers that are now acting out because they can no longer have their borrowed materialism, these American losers that are now acting out because they have nothing else to fall back on but their stupid dumbass gluttony. These dumbass losers that are acting out because they're soulless. And I want you to think about that word again, soulless, soulless, soulless. That's why every time you look at some atheist, evolutionist, chimp-worshiping piece of garbage, they all look spacey-eyed and wide-eyed. And they have no integrity for themselves, and they usually, have no care about their visual appearance because they feel as though, I don't care, I'm just bacteria on the earth. That's all I am. And I'm not going to fall for it, folks. And I don't know about you, but I'm not falling for this malarkey, and that's why I'm getting so damn pissed off about this crap. I mean, I don't have too much time left on this earth, to be completely honest with you. All right? But God damn it, I am not going to allow these damn long-haired liberal bedwetting hippies that have hijacked every bureaucratic apparatus that controls America. I refuse to sit here and just allow them to do that without me calling them out on their complete hypocrisy, without me calling them out and yanking them out of the contradictory closet. And that's what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm doing. And that's why I've done this for so long, folks. And I'm going to continue to do it because I hope that it inspires you all to do something. I don't care if you think you're a goddamn liberal. I don't care if you think that, I'm a teabagger, I'm a libertarian, I'm this, I'm that. Let me tell you something. It's time for you to take your little wannabe interpretation of ideology and wipe it on your dingleberry, bacon-bit-ridden ass crack. It's about time for all you ideologues who don't even know what ideologies you're worshiping. You're just following a group. It's time for you to slap yourselves back into reality and realize that you have an obligation to this country. And if you're not going to have an obligation, well, then you be like all these other losers and get all these dumbass entitlements. Because let me tell you something, all you disgusting pieces of garbage that are collecting entitlements, you are on a government database, you assholes. All right, that is going to be documented for the rest of your lives. And if you think that you're going to continue to poke the eyes of the taxpayer, if you think that you're going to continue to poke the eyes of the individual that's going out there working for a living, that's going out there busting their asses and paying taxes, all right? I mean, you understand when you go to work, you're paying taxes. You're paying to go to work. In essence, you're paying to go to work. And what are you paying for? You're paying for these disgusting, despicable losers that are still ungrateful, that are still out here saying, yeah, I want more, baby. I want a stimulus package check, baby. I want this, I want that, I want everything, baby. You know what I'm talking about? It's Junkyard America, baby. Yeah. I want my stimulus package check, baby. Stimulus package 2, 3, 4. I want it all some more. Well, that's what I want, baby. I want a little bit more of that, baby. Come on now. I want cash for clunkers, class for clap, class for crap. I want it all, baby. I want a housing voucher program. I want it all. I want it all. Don't you understand that, boys and girls? I want it all. Bow, 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 bow. Can you say stimulus package check, baby? All right, that's enough. All right, shut it off. I don't mean to be so facetious, folks, but sometimes you have to find some sort of humor in some fashion amidst this ridiculous decay of American society.
But I'm going to keep fighting, folks. I'm not going to bequeath a world or bequeath an America that has just completely succumbed to communist and socialist ideas. I'm not going to do it. So right now, because, the stupid Pentagon shooter is just the latest of, a chain of violent acts that is going to continue to happen in America because these losers have nothing else to live for but their stupid materials. And now that their materials, which weren't even paid for to begin with, now that they're starting to be taken away, all of a sudden they're going to act out, and they're just going to go and take as many people with them, and they're going to kill and inflict as much negativity and all that. It's garbage, all right? It's utter crap. I have no idea what is going on here. And you see, you've got assholes here. You got a couple of Ron Paul assholes. You got a couple of, communist idiots in this chat room, folks. And for you folks that want to listen live, the best way to figure out when I'm going to conduct one of these sporadic broadcasts is to follow me on Twitter, and the Twitter name to follow is Ghost Politics. Because you have to sit here and watch the chat room as you've got a variety of different political perspectives in this chat room. I mean, you got a whole bunch of people, but a lot of these individuals are calling for revolution. Do you understand that? These people are calling for revolution, for heaven's sake. I mean, do you understand how precarious times that we're living in? I mean, this is disgusting. This is horrible. I mean, do you understand that the American people have now become America's enemy? I mean, it's sick. It's disgrace. It's an utter disgrace that the American people, because they can't have their house and they can't have their car anymore and all the materialistic widgets, so they're just going out and they're going ape shit. All right, I'm sorry, excuse my French, folks, but I mean, they're going ape shit. It's after 12 o'clock here, so I can say it. I mean, I can't believe this crap. Like I said, the Pentagon shooter is just one of many of these damn random acts of violence that we are going to see here in America, folks. And I hope you're happy. I mean, everybody in America, well, I shouldn't say everybody in America, but everybody here in this chat room seems to be completely happy with this destruction of America. I mean, listen, look at these leftists. Look, I mean, some of them are claiming to be Ron Paul libertarians. Some of them are claiming to be leftists. I mean, look at these people. They want a revolution. It's sick. And why do they want revolution, folks? Because they don't have their house anymore. Because they don't have their nice fancy car that used to get them laid when they used to go to the bar and, charge up $200 bar tabs on their credit card. They can't do it anymore. So now they have nothing else to live for because, they don't have any families. They got a whole bunch of baby mamas or baby daddies, but they got no families to fall back on anymore. They have nothing. They have nothing. So, lo and behold, what are they going to do? They're going to act negatively to what they deem is the source of their problems. All right? And that's exactly what you're seeing with all these acts of violence by these goddamn freak shows that are losing all their crap out here. I mean, I'm going to go on to another subject here, but, this idiot who did the Pentagon shooting, John Patrick Bedell, he sounds a lot like that bimbo that shot up the University of Alabama because she didn't get tenure. It sounds to me that the Pentagon didn't fund his little research on smart weapons and the superior war fighter through nanotechnology or whatever the crap is. So where did he go and vent his frustration? Well, the people that didn't fund his little crack pipe research, folks. This is typical leftist idealism. You understand? I mean, people don't want to work anymore. They just, because they can't sit on their fat jelly asses and turn food into shit, because they can't sit on their fat jelly asses and, deposit food in their gullet like damn garbage disposals, because they can't just exist and they actually have to go out and work and continue learning and continue using their brains and that sort of thing, they don't want to do it. So what are they doing? They're going out and they're killing everybody. They're trying to take as many people with them. It's sick. It's disgusting. I can't believe that this is America. And speaking of America, I'm going to take your calls right now, 646-652-4869. If you're disagreeing with me, if you think I'm some sort of a crack pipe or something, I strongly advise you to give me a call right now. You know, I see a lot of ass clowns in here, you know, tickling their dingleberry-ridden anal passages in here, thinking that I'm some sort of a kook or something, but what I'm saying here has so much substance, it's disgusting. So I want to hear from you, 646-652-4869. And before we take any more callers, or before you take any callers, all right, obviously we're probably going to have a bunch of despicable, disgusting internet losers that are going to call me up and probably attempt a prank call and say a bunch of racial slurs. We're just going to go ahead and disregard those people. You know, we're just going to disregard those individuals, and we're going to stick to the subject matters at hand. And the subject matters at hand every time when I conduct these broadcasts is preserving America, preserving the Constitution, and not letting losers, all right, not letting these losers, you know, take over our country because, oh, I lost my car and I lost my house, so I don't have a family, so I'm just going to go out and kill everybody because, well, I'm a loser. 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. We got somebody from the 035. Is that you?
Hey, Ghost. How you doing, my brother?
How's it going?
Yeah, very good tonight, man. I'm having a good night listening to your show. I'm getting all hyped up on all your politics and stuff.
Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Australia.
Australia? I have a whole bunch of fans in Australia.
Yeah, there's a lot of ghost community around here.
I'm not kidding around. I get a whole bunch of emails from their great people. You know, as a matter of fact, you're seeing a lot of the American problem hitting the Australian mainland, from what I understand. A lot of the American issues, you know, social welfare for single mothers. I hear that the divorce rates are up 60-70%. It's horrible out there.
Yeah, we're going through a tough time at the moment, and I just like your radio show. I like the words that you say, the way you get your point across, and I think you've got a pretty mouth.
Oh, good God! And who are you representing?
I'm representing President Mudkips.
Ah, good Lord! Are everybody hearing this? Anyway, the bottom line is I do got a whole bunch of friends in Australia. Love Australia, okay? I'm not going to talk garbage about Australian people because they are, you know, I mean, they are a little liberal when it comes to their sexual persuasions and that sort of thing, but I've actually had great debates with individuals through the Internet. So anyway, 646-652-4869. I'm sure we're probably going to have a bunch of these damn prank calls throughout the night. So go ahead and let these idiots, you know, lick the anal cheese out of each other's, you know, shit funnels because they can continue to do these little prank calls and think that it's winning them brownie points somewhere, but it isn't. 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. 901, you're on the air. Oh, here we go. All right, well, you get them off. Get them off! Now, you see, folks, I'm going to tell you what that person at 901 is trying to do here, okay? Apparently, these morons out here who, I don't know, some of them like me, some of them don't like me, I don't know, I don't care. But apparently they, you know, made some sort of techno remix, you know, about, you know, trying to make fun of me, trying to make me look like a jackass, and that sort of thing. So I happen to have downloaded it. I've happened to have posted it on my Twitter, and we may just play it. So, you know, for all you ass clowns that are going to go on all night and, you know, try to play that stupid little techno remix, I may just play it. I may not. Who the hell knows? But I definitely, I'm at a loss for words when I first heard my voice being used as a techno remix. I don't know. I want to hear from you, folks. Excuse me. I want to hear from you. 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. We're talking about the beginning of the American loser revolution, folks. I mean, we're having all these random acts of violence that are happening upon us, and I think that we're going to have much more. This is just the beginning, and I'm not trying to be some hyper-sensationalist, folks. I mean, if you take a look back at the archive, I've been, you know, suggesting this for some time now. I mean, it doesn't take a brain scientist to realize that, you know, since the American family has been destroyed and, you know, all these losers that are out here, went in over their head, biting off more than they can chew, going out there trying to keep up with the Joneses, can no longer pay their credit card statements, and can no longer pay their secured debt loans, and they're getting their crap taken away from them, and they have nothing to live for. And let me tell you, they're jeopardizing life for us all, folks. They're jeopardizing the security and the way of American life for us all. I think this is a very serious subject matter for us to all keep our eyes on. I think we should all be discussing these subject matters on a serious, in a consistent basis, because I can't believe that this is happening to America. I can't believe it. I mean, losers. I mean, the American loser revolution is happening upon us because what? Oh, if I can't have my plane, if I can't have my house, if I can't have my car and all my little Chinese-made technological gadgets, well then no one can, and I'm gonna be a socialist bastard, and I'm just gonna go out and think that I'm so cool, and like I've got a 15.5-inch little John Holmes sausage, and shut your ass. 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. You're listening to the True Conservative Radio program. We're going to take some more callers here. Hopefully we don't get any more prank callers. But if we do, please, let's disregard them, folks. 425 area code, you're on the air. Hold on. I think we're having a problem with the switchboard. 425, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, there you are. How's it going?
Good. This is Woodman.
How's it going, Woodman? You're the Ron Paul guy, huh?
Yeah, hey, I like your show. I just want to know what your comments were about the Ron Paul assholes.
Well, I mean, my response or my concern about Ron Paul assholes is that I don't think they understand why they're voting for Ron Paul. I think that, a lot of Ron Paul's base is, with a lack of a better term, Alex Jones nut jobs, these conspiracy theorist nuts. And I think a lot of the reason why people are let me tell you where Ron Paul's base comes from. A part of it comes from Ron Paul wanting to end the Federal Reserve and have the government start printing out money again and have it backed up by gold or some crap, which is horrible, which is bad economic policy, given the fact that we've had so many people in this country, and I mean, there's a variety of different economic debates we can go with that. And another reason why people want to vote for Ron Paul is because Ron Paul wants to tuck tail everywhere that there's an American military asset in America, or in the country, or in the world, excuse me. He wants to take every military asset in the world and bring them back to America, and I don't understand why. Why are you a Ron Paul follower?
Because I believe in the principles of freedom in the Constitution, and there's nobody that votes along the lines of the Constitution other than Ron Paul, and that means a lot for me.
Well, if that was the case, why is he still labeling himself as a Republican?
Well, I think we know that we live in a two-party system, and he had to pick one of the two, and he is one of the true conservatives that's out there.
I disagree with you on the true conservative part, but let me explain something to you. During the time when Ron Paul was running for president, I was on here broadcasting, suggesting, because he was making a lot of money campaigning. He made a lot of funds that, in my opinion, I don't know this for a fact, but I doubt he even scraped, the top of. I think there's a lot of money remaining in the Ron Paul account from that presidential campaign. And what I had predicted, which is one of the predictions that didn't come to flourish, because I thought Ron Paul was more serious about his little so-called Ron Paul revolution than, I guess he thought it was. What happened was I predicted that Ron Paul, because he knew he wasn't going to get the Republican nomination. I mean, these Republicans were trying to, pick the most electable candidate. I don't know what the Republicans were trying to do. In my opinion, I think it got taken over by liberals, and you're starting to see the remnants of that now. But I said that Ron Paul was going to go out and take the money, because he had a big war chest to run against both candidates of both parties as the third-party libertarian candidate. If he was that serious about changing America, and if he was that serious about changing the country, He could have ran as the third-party candidate. He had enough money to do it. He had enough political resource, enough political clout to do it, and he didn't do it. So that's why I'm saying Ron Paul is the biggest fraud of all time. I don't like Ron Paul. That's why I don't acknowledge him. He's not serious. And what do you have to say to that?
Well, I think that Ron Paul is very serious. He's a 13-term congressman. And
well, great. He's a professional bureaucrat. Out here we had a governor, we had a Republican primary happening out here in Texas, where I'm from, and Kay Bailey Hutchinson tried to come out here saying, "Hey, I've been in the Senate for almost 30 years. Look at me. I'm about integrity, this and that." And nobody even gave her a second look because Rick Perry, which is probably one of the greatest governors in Texas history, basically painted her out to be some Washington lobbyist fiend. And, with all due respect, I mean, don't you think that Ron Paul could be put in that same category, given the fact that he's a lifelong bureaucrat? And once again, let's just throw that aside. Why didn't he run in 2008 as a Libertarian candidate, given the fact that he had all that money in his campaign war chest?
It's a two-party system. He's up against the political machine. He had to pick one of the two parties. Nobody's even going to acknowledge the Constitutional Party, the Libertarian Party, the Green Party, anything like that. So he picked one of the two parties. He's a conservative. He fell along that realm, and he got blacklisted by his own party.
I don't think he got blacklisted by his own party, but I know they tried to, kind of sequester him when it came to the debates and that sort of thing. But I figure that, given the fact that he energized a lot of young contingent, and you saw a lot of young contingent, the Libertarian contingent at this past CPAC, I figured that, since he had all that clout, I mean, I remember during those elections, Obama-McCain elections, I remember all those Ron Paul signs and the masks and the big get-togethers and the big crowds and all this other nonsense, but the thing I didn't understand is I knew for a fact he wasn't going to make, the Republican nomination. Anybody that had anything to do with politics would have known that. So I thought he was serious. I mean, I really did thought that Ron Paul was serious. I mean, he had all these young people campaigning for him like he was the second coming, and then he let them down. I don't believe the two-party system. I think you're just trying to give him a scapegoat so that, he can try to take the Republican Party. He's going to try to be the Barack Obama of the Republican Party over here, and, who the hell knows what the Republican Party is going to look like if Ron Paul takes the helm in 2012 as president. I don't like that idea.
Well, I mean, he brought in more money than Hillary, Obama, and McCain did from the U.S. military. The military wanted him in.
Well, the reason the military wanted him in is because the military, his military ideas are to basically isolate America, bring all the military assets that are all over the world, bring them back into the United States so we can just kind of, kick back by ourselves and play with our peckers? I mean, that's not...
We should defend our nation. We shouldn't be entering into empire. Our country's bankrupt. How can we afford it? It's not sustainable.
Well, no. I mean, I understand that we do need military forces here in America because I don't think no longer Al-Qaeda is the biggest threat to America. I think now American people, not American people, but American losers are now becoming the biggest threat to American national security. I mean, look at all these random acts of violence. And what I'm saying to you is that, if Ron Paul was as serious as he thought he was, why didn't he run for the Libertarian candidacy? I mean, Bob Barr ran as a Libertarian. Bob freaking Barr.
Well, if you look at what the Republican Party is supposed to stand for, that's what Ron Paul stands for.
I mean, get him off. Get him off. I mean, do you hear this, folks? I mean, this is a cult of personality right here. I'm sorry, Woodman. I had to cut you off. All right? I mean, are you kidding me? You just keep saying, Ron Paul is a constitutionalist. Ron Paul does this. He votes great. He's meh, meh, meh. That's all I'm hearing from you. I'm asking you that I believe, that Ron Paul is a disingenuous character, in my opinion. Because if he was serious, as, everyone thought he was back in 2008, he would have ran as a third-party candidate. He had enough money to do so. All right? He had enough money to do so, and there is no way you can justify that. I understand why you can't answer those questions. You're, the two-party system. Oh, he couldn't do it. He couldn't do this. He could have done anything at that time. I mean, he even had liberals entertaining his brand of politics. But he didn't do it. So I think that, Ron Paul is a disingenuous bastard. I don't like Ron Paul. That's why I don't talk about him. I think, his economic policies are a disgrace. And I think that, his foreign policy is even bigger of a disgrace. This is a global economy, man. I mean, this is why we have to go out and, do and participate in the international array of different political, economic, and social interactions as we do. We have to do it. I mean, we all, live in this globe together, you morons. Anyway, 646-652-4869. Let me leave with this, all right? The American Revolution, the American loser revolution is upon us. And I want everybody to be vigilant, all right? I mean, you understand that the front lines are now outside your door. I mean, who knows if the next trip to the shopping mall is not going to be the next target or the next loser that vents their frustration at, a shopping mall because, it was the mall's fault that made me go and buy all that crap. Oh, yeah, it was the mall's fault that made me go out and buy all that. Oh, shut your mouth. I mean, it could be a Walmart. I mean, it could be a freeway. I mean, who the hell knows, folks? These people are sick. I want everyone to be vigilant about anybody that you deem suspicious around you, your neighborhood, and all. And speaking of which, I know that I'm supposed to be talking about other things, but I want to get into a serious discussion since I've got a whole bunch of people listening right now. I want everyone who's a real taxpayer, all right, and I'm talking about somebody who doesn't collect any entitlements. If you're an individual that is worried about your neighborhood, because you're starting to see a lot more car burglaries, a lot more home burglaries. I know that you're starting to see a lot more, a lot more criminal activity because of the economic recession, because these people are becoming desperate, because these people can't live without their little iPhones and the little technologically Chinese-made gadgets. I mean, seriously. I would like everybody who is a law-abiding, tax-paying citizen, I don't care what your politics are, you need to get around and organize your neighborhoods. You need to go door to door, and you just start protecting your neighborhoods, folks. I'm not joking. I know you people think that I'm going off the deep end, that, Ghost, you're being hyper-sensationalist, you're being overreactionary. I am absolutely not. Do you understand that we are in the midst and in the beginnings of an American loser revolution? I mean, there are losers out here that just can't start from scratch again. I mean, do you understand that, these people don't want to start from scratch. They don't want to say, okay, I got my house and my car and all that taken away from me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get whatever job I can. I'm going to try to, live like a miser, live like somebody who just doesn't spend a whole lot of money and build some capital in some fashion, and then start from scratch. But lo and behold, these people can't do it. So you know what they do? If I can't have it, no one can. So that's why they're going out and they're killing people. They're killing themselves. And folks, what you need to do is take care of yourself. And if they're not doing that, they're coming to pillage your home. They're coming to take away, your car. They're stealing your car. They're stealing your crap. Now, what I would like for people to do is I would like for people to get together with everybody in their neighborhoods. Go door to door. Know your neighbor. Know these people. You don't have to like them, but you live together. And you need to tell them that. You need to say, look, we live in the same neighborhood here. We need to watch each other's backs. And if you live in a dangerous neighborhood, this is even better. If you live in a dangerous neighborhood and you want to take back your neighborhood from these losers, you're going to have to start doing these types of precautions. Go from door to door and know everyone within your neighborhood. All right? And then try to go out and see if you can get about, 7 or 8 people within your whole entire neighborhood, your whole entire subdivision. 7 or 8 people, and start walking the streets. All 8 of you, 9 of you, 10 of you, as many as you can get. Start walking the streets in a group. And just start walking up and down the neighborhoods for as long as you can, for as late as you can. And if you see anybody that you don't know in your neighborhood, go up to them and say, hey, what the hell are you doing in my neighborhood? What the hell are you doing in our neighborhood? I know it sounds gang-related, folks. I know it sounds like, hey, it's the neighborhood gang. But, folks, we're living in some precarious goddamn times. I don't know if you were listening a couple of episodes ago, but I had the goddamn ghetto bird floating above my house. And for you folks that aren't aware of the damn ghetto bird, this is the police helicopter that, flashes that, bright light down upon the earth there to try to, catch perpetrators. And I live in a decent neighborhood, folks. I live in a damn decent neighborhood, and here I have the damn ghetto bird. The damn ghetto bird coming over my home because they're probably looking for some damn perpetrator that was robbing somebody within the vicinity here. And this is what I'm saying, folks. We're going to have to start protecting our property because without private property, we're no longer America. Do you understand what makes America is the protection of private property? And that's exactly what these people don't want anymore because they can't have any more private property because they were fiscally irresponsible and socially irresponsible and all this other crap. They want everyone else not to have the same opportunities that was accorded to them. And I think it's disgusting. And the people that should be mad, the people that should be mad as hell, the people that should be causing a ruckus is the youth. And instead of them going out there and causing a ruckus and, showing this older baby boomer generation that they're not going to take their ridiculous nonsense anymore, no, they're out here, going 10,000, 20,000 at a time in every city that American Idol goes and has an audition. It's a disgrace. I'm telling you, my stomach hurts, for heaven's sake. My stomach hurts. I probably got 8 ulcers in my stomach because every time I take a whiff of America, why don't you take a whiff with me? And it smells like a dirty, smelly, disgusting carnival urinal. It smells horrible. Look at all the filth that's out here, and we're supposed to take care of these people. We're supposed to feel sorry for these people. I'm going to say this, all right? I'm going to say it once, and I'm going to say it again, all right? And I want everybody who is within the sound of my voice right now, and I want you to remember, and I want you to quote Ghost on this one, you milky lickers, all right? I want you to quote me on this. I don't care about the poor in America. I don't care. I don't want my tax dollars to go to these American losers so that they can continue to fulfill their little materialistic gluttony. I don't want it. I don't want my tax dollars to go to Octomom slutbags who are out here philandering around, hopping from penis to penis to penis, hopping on anything that looks good in a leather jacket, getting impregnated when they have no means to take care of that child. So who's there to take care of that child, folks? You and I, the American taxpayer. And let me tell you, I don't know about you, but I've had about enough of it. I've had just about enough. And that's why I do this broadcast. I know that I'm supposed to be talking about other things right now, but goddamn it, I'm pissed off! I'm pissed off! What about you, damn it? We got a goddamn American loser revolution impending upon us. We've got disgusting mooches. We've got mooches here in America sucking the American tax system dry. And I'm not just talking about the poor in America. I'm not just talking about these dish rag whores that are shitting out 7 or 8 kids from 7 or 8 different fathers. I'm talking about Wall Street. I'm talking about Wall Street. I'm talking about that so-called stimulus package. It makes me sick, folks. It makes me sick, and I don't know why it doesn't make you sick, but it makes me sick. Our way of life is being jeopardized because of this crap. And no one is going to help us out of it, goddammit. Don't you understand that? That every foreign country is creaming in their pantyhose right now, looking at America suffer. They're watching us suffer and they're enjoying it. They're enjoying it, for heaven's sake. And look at you. You don't care. God, you don't care. How can you look at yourself in the mirror every day? How can you get up and wake up every morning? If you've got children, how can you sit there and say that you love your children when you don't take responsibility for your own actions, you piece of crap? God! You piece of crap! I don't understand it. I don't understand it one bit. God! 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 Oh, God. Wake up! Wake up! I mean, wake up, for heaven's sake! America's on the Titanic, and you're just sitting there having a hot dog about it! God! I don't know if I'm on the air, folks. I'm sorry. Can't get up here. I'm sorry, folks. I'm on the floor. I can't get up. You know something, folks? I just can't believe that you just don't understand the seriousness. Oh, my chest. I can't believe it. You don't understand the seriousness at hand. The face before our very country right now. Oh, God. My chest hurts. Oh, folks. All right, let me get up from here, folks. I just collapsed here for a second. I can't believe this. I can't believe this is America. Excuse me, folks. I'm going to try to get up here. 646-652-4869 is the number. Call here, folks. I tell you, I better calm down, folks. Calm down, folks. I'm going to take a break here, folks. I'm sorry. I'm going to take a break. I'm sorry, folks. I try not to take too many breaks, but I'm going to have to take a break here, folks. I'm sorry. It's going to be a short one. Hold on, my chest hurts. We're going to we're going to go ahead and put on this stupid fruity-ass ghost techno remix that was made by these fruity-ass bastards that are trying to make fun of yours truly, but just imagine the time and energy that it took to make this piece of crap. Let me go ahead and take a short break. Go ahead and play it. Well, good evening, folks, and thank you for tuning in with me once again to another edition of True Conservative Radio. And of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. I do want to say that last evening's show was definitely one of the highest-rated live broadcasts conducted here on the Blog Talk Radio Network. Definitely one of the highest-rated live broadcasts conducted here on the Blog Talk Radio Network. Definitely one of the. I am your host. The man they call Ghost. I am your host. The man they call Ghost. My chest hurts, but I don't care. I don't care. My chest hurts, but I don't care. I don't care. Everyone's to explode. Everyone's to go crazy. 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 I don't care. All right. That's about enough. I mean, believe it or not. All right, shut it off. Shut it off. All right, now, as you can see, I mean, we've got, nutcases. I don't know if that was supposed to be, some sort of a attempt to make me look like a jackass out here, but they definitely put forth a whole bunch of energy, time, and effort to make a techno remix of the True Conservative Radio program and of yours truly, and I don't know, but I just find it a little amusing that these ass clowns have enough time in their day to do something like that. Anyway, I think I'm okay, folks. I had a little bit of drink of water here, had some necessary medication, so I think I'm okay here. Well, you're listening to the second hour, or we're already into the second hour of the True Conservative Radio program. I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. Before we get into any further subject matters, I'd like for everybody to please bookmark the official True Conservative blog at ghostpolitics.blogspot.com. Once again, it's ghostpolitics.blogspot.com. And, of course, if you want to sit here and chat with us here in the live broadcast and want to participate, the best way to figure out when I'm going to conduct these sporadic broadcasts is to follow me on Twitter. And the Twitter name to follow is Ghost Politics. All one word, no underscores, ass clowns. Anyway, folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. We're going to go ahead and actually talk about some of the subject matters we were supposed to be talking about throughout this various times here, but let's go ahead and talk about them right now. Now, apparently, the trials of the 9/11 suspects, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and company, were supposed to be taking place in New York City, and they were supposed to be taking place under the American judicial system according to the liberal regime in power. And at the same token, they also wanted to close down Guantanamo Bay, and it seems that they're going to go back on both of those issues. It seems that Guantanamo Bay isn't going to be completely, entirely closed because, well, some of these modern terrorists have actually come from this stupid, ridiculous place. I think we should have done something more than just imprison them, but let's not get into that. And then you've got Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and company being accorded the same constitutionally protected rights as you and I, because this liberal regime, I don't know, wants to protect terrorists or wants to protect the rights of terrorists, wants to give terrorist attorneys. I don't know, but I don't care. The bottom line is that these individuals need to be tried in some other fashion, military-style court, where we can either just say up or down, execution or no execution. That's all there is to it. But what's really unfortunate is that these idiots out here who are supposed to be liberal minions, these morons that were crying when Barack Obama was elected into the presidency, when the liberals took control of the entire bureaucratic system of government. These liberals were the ones that were saying, "Oh yeah, we're going to be a changed nation. Everything was going to be great, and there's going to be houses in the sky and a Cadillac in every driveway, and everybody's going to be able to be an American Idol, and everybody's going to be a millionaire, and all this other crap." But what's happening here, folks? Complete hypocrisy, complete contradiction. When Barack Obama was running for office, I was telling everybody who was getting on this bandwagon of change, that Barack Obama wasn't promising anything in this rhetoric. He was just, giving boisterous, teleprompted speeches, that got people feeling funny in the pants, But, that's what Barack Obama did. He gave these great speeches that made people feel funny in the pants, and they went out and they voted for him. And did you notice right after Barack Obama got elected, he took off his shirt? I thought it was sick. Are you kidding me? It's like, yeah, look at this. This is what you dykes are missing. You liberal dykes out there. Look at this, huh? Take a look at that. Unbelievable. But once again, the liberals are flip-flopping. They are considering military trials for the 9/11 suspects, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and company. And they're considering also backtracking on their little Guantanamo Bay close-down session, which is complete hypocrisy from all you liberals that were touting all this change malarkey. All right, and not only were you touting change, you were touting that the liberals were the party of peace, that they were going to bring all the monstrous powers in the international community together by holding each other's hands and singing Kumbaya. Unbelievable. Hypocrisy, folks. Where are you liberals at right now, huh? All of a sudden you've changed your mind about, maybe we do need military trials for 9/11 suspects, and maybe we still need to keep Guantanamo Bay there. That's what we need. We still need to keep Guantanamo Bay over there. I want to hear from you liberals. Are you justifying this, huh? Is this part of your liberal agenda? 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. Flip-flopping. That seems real typical of the liberal regime here. Let's go ahead and take some callers here. Once again, there may be some prank callers and some despicable, disgusting callers, but once again, everyone and anyone is able to call here. 1111, you're on the air. Hello, 1111. Are you going to say?
Hey, Ghost, this is Ron from Spain.
From what?
This is Rob from Spain.
Oh, how's it going?
Hey, man, I just want to throw out an idea. I'm going to go a little bit off topic here. I want to throw out an idea of how to change the United States. Now, hello?
Yeah, you go ahead. We're listening.
All right. I always listen to your shows, and I hear how you say, how you talk about this mothers that have like 5 children and collect welfare checks. Now,
I talk about that on a consistent basis.
Have you ever heard about the Chinese policy? Because due to their overpopulation, they're allowed to have like 2 kids or 1 kid.
Well, I don't think that we need to go as extreme as the one-child policy of China. In the 80s, they actually used to kill these kids. At birth, they used to kill the girl.
Yeah, but
and and they should just crack its head open like, hey, it's no big deal. We're living Marxist dialectical materialism, and a person's head is just material, no big deal.
But I think they should. I think that this could happen in America. It would be a great way. And if they have a third kid, the U.S. government won't support that kid. The parents will have to take care of it.
Something about Spain. Y'all are producing some great basketball players, man. Paul Gasol.
Yeah. Spain is great, man.
All right, I love Spain. All right, I love it. Well, how's the Basque problem going on over there? Are y'all still having problem with the Basques?
No. I don't live around those places. I live in Howard Stern.
You stupid idiot. You don't live in Spain. You're just some stupid immigrant that's trying to call up that, hey, Howard Stern doesn't live in Spain. I've actually got people who listen to me in Spain, you ass clown. Hey, I'm in Spain. I mean, they can't even pull through the joke, They can't even go through the whole damn joke. That's how sick they are. But you see, we're going to hear a lot of these damn illegal immigrants call me, folks, because I'm the only one on internet radio or on radio in general that's calling for these people to not only be deported, but the individuals who are aiding and abetting these illegal immigrants, they should be thrown in prison for treason. Because they are aiding and abetting these damn invaders of our country. But he did bring up a good point, given the fact that he had his little stupid prank call, messed up there. This idea of limiting people and their births. Well, I think that we should do something that doesn't need to be as radical. We don't have to be as totalitarian about it. Once we start saying, hey, we got to, limit, how many kids one can have and that sort of thing. That's borderline eugenics. That's exactly what the liberals want. That's what the liberals want to do. They want that kind of crap. What I suggest, and since we're going off topic here, since this caller brought up the subject matter, I think that we should just get rid of child support. I think we should get rid of child support, and I think we need to get rid of all the entitlements that these dirty dish rag whores take advantage of, courtesy of the American taxpayer. And for all you folks that aren't aware of the little variety of different federal programs that some dirty whore with 7 kids can take advantage of, I strongly advise you to look at episode number 117 back in the archives of the True Conservative Radio program, where I go into a variety of different of those federal programs, and we took a scenario where if you were a dirty whore that shitted out 7 kids from 7 different fathers, you could literally collect $8,500 a month. All right, $8,500 a month in government subsidies. And that's everything from housing voucher programs, free health care, free food cards, free child care, free education for the mother paid for by the American taxpayer, free lunches for kids that go to school, all that nonsense. You name it. All right, you name it. And on top of all these government entitlements, they get to play the child support lottery system. That's right, they can pay the child support lottery system. And child support is based upon how much a man can generate. All right? So if one of these males that impregnated this dirty, loosey slut bag, all right, happens to be, a decent worker and makes about $5-6 grand a year, well, that poor schmuck is going to be dropping at least $900 to $1,000 a month on that kid. And let me tell you, that dirty whore mother, that kid's going to be her favorite kid because she's worth more to that mother financially than all the other ones. And on top of them collecting all these entitlements and child support, they can still go out and work and make under $44,000 a year. They can work and make under $44,000 a year and still collect the entitlements, still collect free housing voucher programs and free health care and all this other crap. I kid you not, folks. If you think I'm lying, Go look it up for yourself, all right? Or go look back at number 117, episode number 117 after this program, and learn about all the federal programs that these dirty whores are taking advantage of. And I think, in my opinion, we need to just get rid of all of them. All right? I mean, let these dirty whores fend for themselves. I mean, they wanted to be dirty dish rag sluts and allow any idiot that looked good with a leather jacket impregnate them, you know, without, I mean, do you just imagine these Octomom, well, I shouldn't say Octomom. Octomom is just some, you know, genetic freak show. You know, she's just some bimbo that got, you know, some mad scientist to stick a turkey baster up her uterus hole and impregnate her with all these, you know, genetic freak show kids. But just imagine if you're one of these whore bags that, you know, shitted out about 7 kids from 7 different fathers. You know, I mean, just imagine the mentality behind that. Just imagine that she allowed 7 different, you know, pricks, you know, 7 different penises to penetrate her body without any type of protection whatsoever. I mean, you know, just, you know, imagine, you know, just for sanitary purposes. I mean, good Lord. Good Lord. But our government, using our tax dollars, are taking care of these dirty sluts. All right. Meanwhile, the real women, you know, the women that, you know, that aren't the Sarah Palins of the world that can get by being some beauty queen slut bag and, oh, look, it's Sarah Palin. She's so beautiful. And, oh, I'm going to vote for her because I think she's hot. You know, I mean, do you understand that this type of feminist idea, you know, embracing whores, embracing beauty queen slut bags, and doing all this crap jeopardizes all the women that actually have legitimate academic merit or intelligent merit, the individuals who actually have the abilities to do the job? These women are overlooked constantly because they're not looking like, oh, Sarah Palin. Because they don't look like some, you know, slut bag who's put, you know, what do they have now? They put glitter on their tits. They don't have glitter tits. Glitter tits. They don't have glitter tits or the damn, you know, the short shorts that shows the first flap of the ass cheek, or, you know, they're not out here doing this crap, and as a result, they're being overlooked. And this is why I'm saying that feminism needs to die. Every time I end a broadcast, I say death to feminism, because feminism has brought on all this nonsense. It's brought on women hopping around from penis to penis to penis and equating that with woman liberation. It's equated women shitting out about 8 kids from 8 different fathers and equating that to liberation, woman liberation. You know, getting, you know, 8, 9 different divorces and changing divorces like they're changing dirty, shitty, skid-marked underwear and equating that to woman liberation. You know, showing off half their bodies in the middle of a grocery store so somebody can pick up their damn grocery tab. They're equating that to woman liberation, folks, and it's disgusting. It's utterly disgusting, and, you know, what really boggles my mind is that's not what the suffragettes, all right, the suffragettes, you know, that's not what they were about. The original feminist or the so-called feminist. I hate even using the term feminist because it's crap. That's not what they intended to do. They didn't intend for you women to go out and be, you know, philanderous slut bags and, you know, be like Beyonce Knowles over here and Britney Spears. Hey, this ass could be yours if the price is right. But you see, the taxpayer, the American taxpayer, the individuals who paid into the tax system, we are encouraging this activity because we're not saying anything about it. We're not saying anything about this disgusting, filthy activity, but I'm saying something about it. And let me tell you, that's why all these people do not like me. That's why all these people prank call me. That's why there's so much, you know, slanderous lies and logical fallacies about yours truly all over the internet, because they know that I'm yanking their ass right into reality and they don't want to face up to it. You know, these dirty dish rag whores that shitted out all these kids, they don't want to face up to the fact that, hey, look, I'm an entitlement-ridden dirty whore. They don't want to look at they don't want to admit it. So as a result, instead of admitting it, or instead of saying, okay, look, I'm one of these people, what can I do to change myself? No, instead they go to good old Ghost here, who's yanking them out of the closet, and try to agitate the true conservative radio program. You know, try to, you know, agitate Ghost, for heaven's sake. It's disgusting. Anyway, let me go ahead and move away from that, and let's talk about another serious subject matter, and I'm talking about these Iraqi elections. I know that these Iraqi elections are supposed to be some sort of big step for the democratic process of Iraq, but I think that it spells serious trouble for the instability, complete instability in the region. And the reason I say that, folks, is because, well, frankly, we messed up. Donald Rumsfeld, or whoever wants to take bureaucratic responsibility for screwing up the war, Tommy Franks, whoever, they decided to just go into Iraq and completely dismantle the current infrastructure of society in Iraq, and they decided to just completely dismantle it and start it from scratch. And as a result, because they dismantled the current infrastructure of society there, they unearthed a lot of historical demons, with these Kurds and Sunnis and Shias and all these different interpretations of Islam that, what's happening here is now a powder keg of violence. I mean, you've got a whole variety of different factions wanting to cause instability within Iraq so that it can throw us out of Iraq, which are the American troops, and give one of those three factions complete superior dominance of the region. Now, what's really unfortunate is Iran, and I'm pretty certain about this. I'm not going to say that, I'm going to put my name on the line for it, but in my opinion, I feel that Iran is probably helping the Shia faction in attempting to destabilize the country of Iraq, because a destabilized Iraq aids a Iranian revolution that's already trying to, fix its bleeding gums from all the people that want the Ayatollah and Ahmadinejad out. Anyway, we already had, bombings out there. I think, a bombing, was it day before yesterday, already killed 26, and we're having more violence out there, as people attempt to vote in this election. But, folks, I think that Iraq's a serious situation. I think that we still need to stay out in Iraq. I don't understand why we are deploying more troops to Afghanistan. Let's be honest, and I've said this in the past, Afghanistan is not going anywhere. It is going to be a dirt hole. All right? I mean, it's a dirt hole. These people aren't even up to third world standards. That's how bad it is out there in Afghanistan. I mean, they don't have running water. They don't have a sewage system. They don't have electricity. It's horrible. I mean, unearthing some sort of a democratic free market society out of Afghanistan it's unheard of. I don't understand why we're here. And if we are there, we should, we should at least get something achieved in that fashion, I know that we, caught a couple of hideouts. We went into some mountain that had a Al-Qaeda hideout. Great. I mean, how many of you want to see bin Laden's head on a platter or Zawahiri's head on a platter? Oh, that's me. I mean, if we're going to be sitting here, just continuing to deplete military assets of America in Afghanistan, I want to see some goddamn results. And instead, where, all the military legitimacy that we established in Iraq is just going by the wayside because the liberal regime is pulling out all the troops. And you see, folks, Iraq, and the reason I say that Iraq there needs to be troops still in Iraq is because those people owe us over $1 trillion for liberating them. Don't you understand that, folks? I mean, even the Brits paid us back. These monarchy-worshiping Brits, these limey bastards, even they paid us back after World War II. It took them up until the late 90s to do so, but they did it. And that's exactly what Iraq needs to do to America. All right? Right now, they are selling their oil. Remember, Iraq is the second largest oil deposit in the world. The first one, of course, being Saudi Arabia. So they're taking the oil from Iraq and selling it on the world market for whatever it is, $75, $80 a barrel of oil. And now they have over $1 trillion surplus, and yet not one red Iraqi cent of it is going over here to America or to compensate for the American debt in blood and treasure. You know, I just don't understand why, you know, the liberal regime can't understand the military and economic legitimacy of keeping troops in Iraq. I don't understand it. We need troops in Iraq. That's the bottom line, all right? I mean, we need to stabilize that country just like we did to South Korea, just like we did to Japan, just like we did to West Germany. All right, we have models that where this works. All right, I mean, do you understand that Iraq has its own natural resources? So modernity, you know, to getting them from where they're at in socioeconomic status to where everyone else is not going to take very long. They have oil. You understand that? Oil makes third world nations into first world nations within, 5 to 10 years, because they can sell their natural resource of oil on the world market and then trade it in for natural resources that they can't develop in their own sandboxes called countries. That's why Saudi Arabia has got the best, of everything. They got the best buildings. They got the best, military fighters from all these countries. They got the best this. Because they can afford to pay for it. That's why Saudi Arabia has caught up to modernity. Not because they're any smarter, not because they know anything, because they bought it all. And that's exactly what could happen to Iraq. But unfortunately, because Rumsfeld or whoever decided to go into Iraq decided to just take out the infrastructure of Iraqi way of life, now we've unearthed all these hidden ancient Islamic demons that aren't going to go away. It don't seem like they're going to go away. And as you can see with these elections and all these pop shots being taken at these poor people, I think that there's a grave danger for instability in the region. And if there's instability in the region, well, here comes all the other Arab nations that are surrounding it to save the day. Isn't that right? It'll encourage Iran to come in and, take up for the Shia cause. And the Shias that are within within the Iraqi borders, which are the majority of the population, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to take the side of the Iranians and say, yeah, we need to take control of our country, and it's just going to be a complete unstable disaster. Turkey's going to come in from the north and take over the Kurdish areas. Syria may even throw some military assets in there. It's going to be a complete disaster. Why are we in Afghanistan? I mean, we haven't seen shit from Afghanistan. So I'm just saying, folks, I mean, that's something to kick around in the old noggin there. Anyway, 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. We're talking a little bit about the Iraqi elections and how, because of the lack of infrastructure and the fact that we have set a deadline table for troop withdrawal in Iraq, these recent Iraqi elections may be the beginning of a spark of instability because we have unearthed a whole bunch of historical Islamic bad blood, so to speak. And I don't want to get into old Islamic history because it's rather silly. I mean, no offense to my Islamic friends in, certain parts of the country. For instance, I've got some listeners in Turkey and in Iran and Saudi Arabia. But it's really silly, why the Sunnis and Shia and, why they hate each other. I mean, it's really pointless. But once again, I mean, it falls hook, line, and sinker with why these people in Iraq are pop-shotting each other every 5 minutes. They're blowing each other's mosques up. They're going out to vote and taking pop shots at them at marketplaces. They want the country to be unstable so that when the United States leaves, their version of Islam is going to reign supreme in Iraq. Anyway, 646-652-4869. I want to talk to you folks. What do you think about all this crap? I'm going to go ahead and move to another subject matter. I'm going to talk about the latest liberal to bite the dust. Now, folks, I know that Charlie Rangel, we talked about him 2 shows ago and, unearthed his, dirty deeds and about how he's legitimately a crook now, an ethics panel found. And then several days after we discussed that, he was an open crook, he stepped down as the chairman of whatever stupid committee, the Tax and Means Committee, whatever the hell it is. I don't care about these bureaucratic, dumbass little committees and subcommittees and all this other crap. But he stepped down from his chairmanship, which, this particular committee actually writes tax writing laws. And Ryan Angle, of course, had to step down from that particular chairmanship because he accepted trips to the Caribbean from lobbyists who were attempting to lobby influence within Washington. And, of course, him being a chairman, it put him in a very precarious situation. And at the same time, Ryan Angle almost took down a good portion of the Black Caucus in this whole ridiculous, unethical scandal. And on top of which, he's got some precarious IRS activities relating to himself. Well, anyway, he stepped down, and our latest liberal to bite the dust, folks, none other than old Eric Maza, I'm going to say it aside of my kusa. No, Eric Maza, whatever, the representative, he is the latest liberal to fall victim to their own hypocrisy. Allegedly, stuff is so precarious relating to this story. I mean, it was coming out throughout the day that, another ethics panel found some precarious activity relating to this individual, and at the same time, allegedly there was some sexual advances on Mr. Masa's part to a certain political aide that, a male aide, mind you, some kind of sexual remarks that were deemed inappropriate, that were, according to reports, deemed sexual harassment in nature, sexual harassing in nature. So anyway, Eric Maza finally steps down, and I didn't really expect him to step down so soon. I mean, when I booked this show, there was still, a cloud of mystery over Eric Maza. I'm going to say it aside of Makusa, or whatever his name is. All right? Now, inevitably, he's a lifelong Navy man. Now, I'm not trying to say anything against the Navy here, but it doesn't make that, the Navy look very good when, he's a lifelong Navy man and, one of his unethical related precarious activities that made him step down from his freshman seat as a representative of his constituency. One of these precarious activities was him, being sexually aggressive or, sexually inappropriate to a male political aide. I mean, wasn't it the Navy that said there's never a wrong hole? I don't know. I shouldn't go there. But anyway, another liberal bites the dust, folks. Eric Maza, Charlie Rangel, before that, it's like a domino effect. All these morons are falling in disgrace. They're stepping down. They're leaving because they know that they have been proven hypocrites. These liberals have been proven hypocrites, and there's nothing they can say. There's nothing they can do about it. All right? And I know that there's some liberals here. All right? No, I'm not. No, look, I'm not talking garbage about the Navy. All right? Look, I got some Navy people in here, saying that, hey, we need the Navy. Don't talk that way about the Navy. It's just a joke, ass clowns, all right? All right, don't blame me. Blame the village people. All right, blame the village people for the Navy, homosexual connotation. All right, I'm just joking. All right, we do need the Navy. As a matter of fact, a report came out recently that we're having a hell of a lot more of these pirates coming out of the woodwork. I mean, not only are they jeopardizing regular tanker and import freighters, but they're also jeopardizing oil rigs. They're jeopardizing cruise liner boats. They are a legitimate threat to the sea. So I'll agree with you. The Navy needs to be emphasized. We need a good naval fleet. As a matter of fact, if you look throughout history, the country with the best naval fleet usually remain dominant in the international community. So, look, for all you Navy guys who are getting a little upset, I'm just kidding, all right? Like in the words of the Tony Montana character, I was only kidding! So just calm your ass down, all right? Calm your asses down, for heaven's sake. Good Lord. I'm sorry. Don't talk that way about the Navy, boy. Anyway, 646-652-4869. We're going to take another caller here. 720, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's going on?
Oh, just a little bit bummed I missed the first 30 minutes of your show, but that's cool. So, yeah, you're talking about some of these people being taken down and stuff. You should just add Nancy Pelosi's name to that list because things are not going her way right now.
Well, believe me, if you want my personal opinion, I think that she was probably one of the people who now listen to my opinion, I don't have any direct evidence of this, but I think she was the one that threw Eric Massa under the table here. Because Eric Massa was one of the Democrats that was voting against the House health care initiative. And David Massa, of course, is a freshman congressman, so he doesn't have the political connections like an old Pelosi or one of these old hacks like Rangel, whatever the hell his name is, and all these other characters that are having to step down after so many years of office and being corrupt and being found a hypocrite. If you want my personal opinion, I think Nancy Pelosi has something to do with Eric Massa's little precarious, sexually homoerotic, aggressive activity being unearthed out here.
Oh, sure. Yeah, but it's likely. I mean, do you remember the whole bathroom stalls incident with that Republican?
Yeah. What the hell's his name? What the hell's his name? Craig. There you go. Larry Craig.
Yeah, it was around that time, actually. We saw here in Colorado two guys get accused of similar activities. One of them was a very constitutional conservative judge, and I saw about 5 different guys around the United States get knocked down for similar stuff from the Republican Party, but the interesting thing is they were all constitutional conservatives. So it wouldn't surprise me at all.
So you're saying constitutional conservatives are now homosexuals? Is that what you're trying to allude to?
No, not at all. But what I am alluding to is that, I think that there's infighting within both parties, and I think that those guys were under attack, and I actually don't question that it wasn't some Republican neocons that went after them, just as Nancy Pelosi's trying to go after some of her own.
Well, that's pretty good observation. No, I was going to say, pretty good observation there. I mean, you bring up a good point that a lot of these people were constitutionalist conservatives, and the neoconservative movement, which I call the rhinos or the liberals that have hijacked the Republican and conservative wings of the political spectrum, they definitely have a vested interest in taking down a lot of the constitutionalist Republicans. But what's really unfortunate is that the constitutionalist Republicans are not, as they fall down, they're not getting back up and sticking up on principle. Instead, they're falling hook, line, and sinker with other, ideologies that will accept them for what they are. One case in point is Bob Barr. Bob Barr was one of the most biggest constitutional Republicans back during the Newt Gingrich Revolution.
I would disagree with that, but.
Well, no, I would completely agree with that. But he was a loose constitutionalist candidate, and they exiled him out of the party. And as a result, he thought that constitutionalist idea, although I thought he kind of backtracked on a lot of his idealist when he ran for the Libertarian Party for president. But once again, I don't know what the hell's going on here. What side of the fence do you put yourself in?
Well, I'm a libertarian, and I'll tell you what. When Bob Barr went to our convention, and when he got the nomination for president, a lot of us pulled out of the party for a while, and a lot of us protested. And, I was very vocal about, all they were doing is recycling neocon trash into our party. I do not believe that him and Wayne Allen Root should have been considered. Wayne Allen Root's a brilliant marketing guy, and he knew how to sell it, but Bob Barr was not the candidate that I believe represented the party by any
Okay, since you are a libertarian, I alluded to this earlier from somebody who was a Ron Paul supporter. I asked them why, if Ron Paul is such a staunch, libertarian, constitutionalist, so-called Republican or conservative or whatever moniker he wants to go by, why, if he was serious about making change in the country and making a change in a Ron Paul revolution, why didn't he go and run the Libertarian ticket when he didn't get the Republican nomination? I mean, he had enough money to do so. He raised dramatic funds that are still sitting in some campaign account somewhere. Why didn't he go out and attempt to make a serious impact? I think that he had some youth factions and other rogue factions of liberals and conservatives backing him up. Why didn't he do it? That's one thing I'd like to ask you.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question because I was a supporter of his during the primary process and up until the primary, and I asked myself the same thing: why not run independent? Why not run libertarian? I think libertarian, he wasn't. There was a few core values that he just couldn't agree with within the Libertarian Party.
But he ran as a libertarian for president in 1988.
Correct. Yeah, which is also another important point is that he did do that, and then when he ran his campaign, during the last primary process, he took a very pro-life position, which libertarians revert generally to states' rights on the abortion issue, and he did. He as far as homosexuality or gay marriage or any of that stuff, he didn't really have a libertarian perspective on that either, which alludes back to states' rights and stuff. So there was a few conflicts now, and why he was able to find it okay to run in '88 and not recently is an interesting question. And another question I have is that we're running a pretty serious campaign here with one of the first libertarian candidates actually stands a chance in hell of winning something, and we asked for an endorsement, and I think that we out-conservative even Mr. Paul, and he does not give endorsements to third parties. He believes in rebuilding the Republican Party, and I guess that's somewhere where we differ is, I don't care what flag somebody's flying under if they agree with my core principles. Whereas he seems to be about the GOP machine, and the more I look at his campaign, and the more I look at his actions, not just his words, the more I start to wonder if he didn't just do it for celebrity status and for what money he was able to run. And I say that as somebody that gave him probably $2,000. So if that is the case, I'm a fool too, and I'll admit that maybe I was foolish. But yeah, I question it too.
Absolutely, and that's why I really don't respect the man, because I actually predicted that he was going to do so. I mean, you figured that he had that much clout, and at the time I had a whole bunch of Ron Paul supporters, calling up, their big issue was, the gold standard, and, it was all economics, and what was really unfortunate is that they didn't really see the encompassed whole view of what Ron Paul was. I mean, I think he's a very precarious, character that just, I don't think he can be trusted, to be completely honest with you. He's one of these people who's been in the Congress too long. He's, I wouldn't say a lifer when it comes to bureaucratic office, but he has definitely ran the gambit, so to speak, and I think that anyone who utilizes public office for more than, I would say, 10 years, you would want to look at with second or third looks. And especially him raising this mass amount of campaign capital and using barely a fraction of it, because he didn't really have to use it. He had that whole core base of individuals going out there, getting their own rallies. I saw a bunch of Ron Paul Revolution signs out here, the masked people with masks out here in the middle of the roads. I mean, he had that core base, so he didn't even have to touch that war chest of campaign funds. And
No, and he really didn't. That was the interesting thing. I watched, here as an activist in Colorado, I just kind of did my own thing with my own group, but we didn't get any real support from the campaign, and that was something I wondered is where's all this money going? And it was a lot. I mean, a lot of people don't remember, but he raised way more than Hillary or Barack, he raised way more than both of those people. He was the top fundraiser coming out of the gate. So, in the early days. So, he was doing extremely well, and his money bombs were very effective and stuff. And I didn't see a lot of expenditures or commercials or anything like that. I mean, he did
Absolutely
run some,
not.
but not enough to justify the money. But, I'll tell you this much. I am still, as much as I don't fully believe he's the same guy that I thought he was, I am very grateful that the rest of America is not caught up with that yet or is not acknowledging that yet because for the first time ever, we're really talking about the Constitution. The feds had light shed on him. So even if he's not, who we think he is, he has done some good. And I'm glad that we started having these conversations again. And it spurred a lot of activism. And I can see still fallout from his campaign. People
Certainly.
that,
saw it at
people
CPAC.
Yeah, well, even here locally, we've been looking for, to build some alliances with some third parties and with the Democrats and Republicans. Democrats aren't very active right now, and the Republicans, in Colorado, we have a lot of neocon trash that's trying to run. We wouldn't even be running in these districts if we had a viable Republican that actually stood up for the Constitution. We're not out to tear down the Republicans. I mean, we're kind of cousins in a way, So if we had Republicans in some of these districts that were standing for the Constitution, we would withdraw support for any of our candidates trying to do so. We'd see it as destructive. But
that's pretty serious statement there. I wish Republicans in the District of Colorado over there were listening in on this because let me tell you right now, it seems according to everyone who's observing the right wing of the political spectrum of America that, it's in complete disarray out here. You've got libertarians and conservatives and, whatever teabaggers are claiming to be and, just all these different factions out here that I don't know, like you alluded to earlier, I think that we are in a serious disorganizational phase, but so are the liberals. And at this point, I think that you're completely right when you allude to the neoconservatives and those that are ideologues. It just takes these few individuals in the right positions of power to make certain things happen that is not going to be entirely comfortable for the American population. And we've seen what's happened thus far.
Oh, no, absolutely. But what I was getting to is that so we started reaching out to various conservative groups or Republican groups and liberal groups that Republicans see us as the enemy. So we're still looking, to build alliances. Well, we started finding them with, various groups that just splintered off from Ron Paul after, the primaries were over. And we found all kinds of groups, whether it's for, they're against marijuana prohibition or whether they're 9/11 truthers or whatever their little niche is. It's amazing. One of the meetings we went to where we expected we were going to see, maybe 10 guys if we were lucky. They had over 60 people in that meeting. It was during a weekday, and I found out they have 600 members in their group, and they're consolidating with about 5 other groups, and they're going to have a grand total of 2,000 members, and they're all activists. So we're seeing this happening, and I was just like, oh my gosh, these people, we don't have to convince them about our views. We may not agree about the 9/11 truth movement, but these people in these groups, we don't have to sell them the Constitution. They're already big on it. So we found a lot of natural alliances, and the biggest thing that a lot of us have in common is that we're not trying to go after conservative Republicans, and we would fully back them and help them if we could find some in our state, but we're going after these progressives. And what I saw in the last election is you have scum like John McCain that runs as a conservative Republican, and he's a total progressive. And then even Bush was a progressive, and people can't swallow it. They can't understand it, and then they don't understand why the party's falling apart. They want to rebuild the party, and it's like, well, why don't you get behind one respectable candidate?
That's what I've been saying ever since day one, ever since I came here. I mean, let's get behind a candidate that's legitimate out here, not somebody who's going to give us a bunch of double talk or is going to say one thing and do something completely different when they get in power.
Yeah, and people keep trying to tell us, oh, why don't you run your candidates for the Republican Party? And it's like, well, because for one.
Hello? Well, it looks like you got cut off there. I don't know what that was about. You're able to call back if you like. I don't know what happened. Let me look on the switchboard. I wasn't even looking. All right, well, we got 6 minutes left. I guess, I don't know, got a 6-minute cutoff BTR has now? I don't know. But anyway, we do have 6 minutes left. I didn't mean to cut that last caller off from 720. I really appreciate what you had to say there. Hopefully, you are active in your activism when it comes to constitutional conservatism and right-wing ideology, because we don't need any more leftists. All right, we don't need any more leftists in this government. We don't need any more leftists touting their garbage out in the street. We don't need any more of this malarkey. And that's why I continue to do this broadcast, folks, all right? That's why I continue to do this broadcast. I know that sometimes I have a love-hate relationship when it comes to doing this broadcast. Sometimes I'm like, I'm going to do it every single day, and other times I'm like, why bother? But, folks, you have to look at the social, political, and economic landscapes of our America today and take a good whiff of it, and then you'll begin to realize why I'm so mentally erratic when approaching this broadcast, when approaching to continue to blog and do all the other things that I do in my own personal life politically. Because it seems to me that everybody is falling hook, line, and sinker with this socialist, communist idealism. This idea that all you have to do is exist. All you have to do is breathe, and all of a sudden, someone is obligated to give you a house, a car, a job, a life. Absolutely not. Do you understand that? Absolutely not. And it's sickening to me. It's sickening that the way of life that we all loved, folks, and I don't care who you are, the American way of life was the best life in world history. It was the easiest life. It was the most secure life at some point. And we all took it for granted. We all got, infested with the idea of being materialistic, gluttonous ass clowns and neglecting the things that come in free life, that come to life for free, like love and affection and family and appreciating one's dwelling, appreciating one's community. You understand? Having some sort of moral integrity. But it seems to me, folks, that everybody has submitted to the depravity of humanity, to the bowels of human depravity. I just can't even explain it. And that's why you, folks, you people out there have to take the initiative. You have to take the initiative to change this America. I know that word change is so prevalent in today's political spectrum. But, folks, we definitely need a change, but not a change for the left, but a change for the right. It's so easy to do the wrong thing, folks. It's so easy to say, why do I care? Why work? I'm going to collect entitlements for the rest of my life. Why do this? Why take care of my kids? Why don't I just dump them off on an illegal alien child care provider or leave them at home alone while I'm trying to become a corporate mogul so I can buy the latest, iPhone that comes out in the next 3 months? It's so easy to do the wrong thing, folks, but it takes somebody with moral integrity. It takes somebody with pride. It takes somebody with balls! With balls the size of grapefruits that will slap all these idiots into their faces, into reality. I mean, good God, it takes balls to do the right thing. It takes balls to do the right thing. Don't you understand that? You disgusting, despicable liberals, you just want to exist. You're not even conscious. I mean, folks, I want you to look at people as they walk by you down the street and look at how they don't even know you're there. They are not conscious. People are walking around half dead. When you see these zombie movies that are coming out, they're talking about you. They're talking about you. They're talking about America because they're not conscious. They're not awake. They're not thinking. They have stopped their mental perception. And it's time for you to wake up, damn it. It's time for you to wake up. And I'm calling on you. You need to protect your community. You need to protect your family. You need to protect your property. You need to protect your country, damn it. You need to protect your country! And if you don't, this American loser revolution is going to come forth, and we're going to see more violence, and we're going to see more losers go crazy. I'm serious, folks. We got to stop it. We got to stop the American loser revolution. So I call on you. Do your duty politically, do your duty socially, and do your duty economically, folks. Your country depends on it, and depends on it. God damn it. Your country depends on it. Your country depends on it. I hope you can feel my anger. I hope you can feel the passion, because I'm trying to inspire passion in you. It doesn't matter what your age is. It doesn't matter what your race is. It doesn't matter what your gender is. Go out there and stand up for the Constitution. Stand up for your rights. Stand up for the American way of life. Stand up against the losers of America. Stand up against the losers of America. And don't let them, goddammit, don't let them take down this great country. Because this country was the greatest country on the face of the planet. Long live the conservative movement and death to feminism.
A Napa guy knows the only way you'd give a freshly minted driver a brand new car is if he promises to never drive it. Instead, let him grind the gears and knock over the neighbor's mailbox in something a little more suited to his skill level. And with over 400,000 parts and a little Napa know-how, he can safely drive something that's nearly as old as he is. It's not perfect, but it's perfect for him. That's Napa know-how.